In this video, I will be explaining why I believe Quilge Opie was wasted potential. Quilge was the first sternritter that we were introduced to in the Thousand Year Blood War arc, and Yuha gave him the position of the executive hunting captain of Wikomundo. Now this sounds like a pretty cool title, but in reality it was nowhere near cool. Even Quilge himself wasn't that enthusiastic about it. His job role was to recruit worthy Arankars into the Vandenreich. However, as simple as that seems, there was more to it than that. See, Yuha specifically gave him control over Wikomundo because he knew that if Ichigo was informed about what was going on there, he would immediately rush over to Wikomundo in order to protect the Arankars. And when you think about it, it was the perfect plan because let's just say that Quilge's Holy Letter is the ideal ability to use to trap your opponent. But with that being said, despite how powerful Quilge was, one attack was all it took to kill him. And in this video, I will be explaining why Quilge deserved better than this. Usually in Bleach, whenever Kubo-sensei wants to introduce a new villain group, he will send at least 2 members of said group to the world of the living and have them show off their strength in order to highlight to the audience how much of a threat they are. For example, we saw this when Renji and Byakuya went to the world of the living, and as we all know, Byakuya completely destroyed Ichigo. Another example of this was when Yami and Ukiura invaded Karakura town, and yet again Ichigo got completely embarrassed. And in the case of the Thousand Year Blood War arc, Kubo-sensei did the complete opposite of this. Instead of having the enemies come to Ichigo, he instead made Ichigo go directly to the Quincy's, and there Ichigo meets Quilge face to face. But before this confrontation, Quilge fought against Loli and Menoli, and I am pretty sure that I don't have to explain how that went. To be honest, I kind of feel bad for them, but it's whatever. And in case if you think that those two were Wikomundo's last line of defense, then you are wrong, because the Fractions under Halibel, the Queen of Wikomundo, arrive. And of course, I am talking about the Tres Bestia. Everybody make some noise. Wikomundo is saved, baby. Let's go. Actually, hold on. On second thoughts, just forget everything I just said. Unfortunately, those guys were the only defense that Wikomundo had. So to put it into perspective, Quilge Opie single-handedly swept the floor with 5 Arankars. And to make matters worse, he did not use his Holy Arrow, Holy Letter, or his Quincy Vorsterndish. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that he is very powerful. Anyways, now that he was face to face with Ichigo, they wasted no time. The two of them begin to battle it out, and this was my favorite moment of Quilge because he was used for exposition to show the abilities of the Quincy's, and due to the fact that the battle was taking place in Wikomundo, he had enough space to go all out. Quilge showed us each and every one of the Quincy's abilities, including Blut, a Quincy's ultimate defensive and offensive abilities, and most importantly, he also activated his Quincy Vorsterndish. This is also another reason why I really appreciate Quilge, because he is one of the few Quincy's who actually made use of all of the abilities in his arsenal. And immediately after he activates his Quincy Vorsterndish, he takes on the form of an angel. By the way, this is probably the best holy form in my opinion. Anyways, Ichigo and Quilge continue to battle it out, but because the Tres Bestia don't know how to take an L, all 3 of them fuse their left arms together and create Ion. He eventually interrupts the battle, and to give him credit, he was beating the crap out of Quilge. He even managed to break his neck However, Quilge snaps it back in place, and after this, he activates his Sklave Rai. This is a technique that amplifies a Quincy's basic ability to gather Reishi in the most dominant way, and Quilge uses it to completely absorb Ion. Both of their bodies merge together and Quilge transforms into a complete monster. But before he was able to wreak any havoc, Ichigo attacks him head on, and surprisingly, he was beating the crap out of him. This fight was so one-sided, it wasn't even a joke. Anyways, their battle had to come to an end because Ichigo was needed in the Soul Society. However, before Ichigo was able to reach the Serete, Quilge uses his holy letter, the Geo, to trap him in the Garganta. And shortly after this, Quilge was defeated in one attack by none other than Grimmjow. The reason why I believe that Quilge was wasted potential is because I am not a fan of how he went out. I think that this could have been handled better, and because of this, I started to brainstorm about how I would have handled the situation, and here's the plan I came up with. Okay, so hear me out. Instead of Quilge getting defeated in one attack by Grimmjow, that never happens, but rather Chad and Orihime fight him. I mean, think about it. They have great chemistry. For example, in the first episode of the 1000-Year Blood War anime, in the exclusive scene where Ichigo and the gang defeat the Hollows, we see Orihime and Chad work together. Because Orihime's abilities are best suited for defensive capabilities, she creates a shield and launches one hollow at a bunch of other hollows. They pile up on each other and Chad delivers the final blow. He literally sends them flying across the town into a civilian building. And of course, RIP to the people living there, but at least they died for a great cause, because that was cool as fuck. So after seeing that scene, I created an alternative scenario. Here's how it goes. While Quilge is occupied with trapping Ichigo, Orihime musters up the strength to heal both herself and Chad. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to heal Kisuke because he was far away from them. Anyways, because Quilge lets his guard down, the both of them attack him. Chad is on the offensive and Orihime is providing defensive supports. And while this fight is taking place, it would be a great excuse to provide a backstory for Quilge. Unfortunately, just like the other sternritters, we barely know anything about him, and I know that I am not the only one who wants to learn more about him. And then, when the time comes for the battle to end, either Chad and Orihime defeat him, or we could just stick to the source material and have Grimmjow defeat Quilge. And that, ladies and gentlemen, would be the end of Quilge's character arc. I believe that this would be the best way to send off Quilge because he was actually one of the few interesting Quincy's in the 1000-Year Blood War arc. Everything from his dialogue, abilities, witty remarks, and confidence just captivated me. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see or learn a lot about him. But I guess it is what it is. And in addition, this scenario would not only benefit Quilge, but also it would help both Chad and Orihime. Because let's be honest here, Kubo Sensei doesn't give them much attention. They barely did anything of significance in the 1000-Year Blood War arc.
How about new?
Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and please remember that this video was just based on my own opinion. This was like a what if scenario. I would never try to change Kubo Sensei's story. This is just something I would personally like to see. It is not a necessity. And to end off the video, here is a fun fact. It has not been confirmed, but it is believed that Quilge Opie's character was based off Heinrich Himmler.
Nani?
And to be honest, I see the resemblance. Please don't forget to like and subscribe Thank you for watching, and let me know down in the comment section if you guys think that Quilge Opie was wasted potential or not.